making a video. Yay. Yeah, I don't know. Lots of videos, lots of cruddy ones. Feeling a little better, but not great. But anyway, on to the work. It must be done. Alright, Fred. I keep waiting for Fred, but he's not playing along. And it's sort of irritating. I mean, it's like I said, it's good he does his thing, but dead rabbits and walking backwards and talking backwards, and I don't even understand. I don't know what all that crap is. But whatever. So then he does this thing called the value of life, and it's what's titled, but it really wasn't. I don't know. So I'll play the beginning and the end.
Which I think people ask sometimes. I find myself asking, what is the value of an animal life as opposed to a human life? How many insect lives would add up to one life of an elephant? It's those kinds of mathematics are sometimes used, and I think that the talking of currency is wrong. This life thing is not a useful concept, or at least, not anymore it isn't. I think there probably was a time when it was, when life was a perfectly viable shorthand for saying.
Okay, so I guess he's just complaining about the word life, and I wish he just kind of made that clear. So it's just the word he's talking about. Okay, it's not living things he's talking about. He's not talking about sentience and value. He's talking about life. And that I would agree. We can't really use the word life anymore and have it mean anything, because life is syphilis and life is a human being. Gandhi and syphilis are not exactly the same thing. So life just doesn't cut it. Alright, let's cut to the end. So he goes on and just talks about how we are, we're ears and noses and feet and, pancreases and all. I mean, I kind of understand that.
To think that animals are automata. I think it could be demonstrated that there is no pain there at all, or possibility of pain or pleasure, any of that kind of stuff. That is just not a system that's in operation in that life form. Then I would have no moral compunction about causing what appeared to be suffering. I mean, I would have no reason to. I might not like the look of it, because obviously there's all kinds of sentimentality going on in me for that. And but it would be just that. It would be sentimentality. Isn't it, Phoebes? She's looking at me saying, "You're not going to do that, are you? You're not really going to do that." No, I'm not going to do that.
Alright, well, I sort of missed, I guess. Let me go back a little further and see if we get to the punchline.
And it particularly becomes pertinent, I think, when you're talking about processes which are felt, felt processes. And as much as the felt sense is, I would say, at least, one of the origins of value, then clearly, it seems to me, if something is capable of feeling, maybe we're going back to Jeremy Bentham again, aren't we? If something is capable of feeling, then it's deserving of a certain kind of value. Or at least you have to enter into that debate. You can reject it, but I think you're kind of obliged to get involved in that, really. And that's...
Yeah, well, that's sort of the point. Yeah, so we agree on that. So we just start to establish that as a premise, that this is the real value equation. You can't really unravel that with any kind of rational argument that somehow suffering doesn't matter. I mean, there's just no way to make that a rational argument. You have to be insipid. I mean, there's no way to undo it. So yeah, we can sort of establish that as a truth, and I don't think anybody can define something of value that doesn't impact the welfare of feeling things, and that most of their ambitions are just more about their personal comfort, and that the actual thing they have an ambition to accomplish has no value whatsoever. So we can agree that the value of a Corvette is relative from person to person, or the value of a Hello Kitty keychain or something. Yeah, some people are going to find that fascinating, other people are going to say no thank you. And that's reasonable for there to be a divergence in opinion of its value. But when we're talking about the welfare of a child, or the welfare of an animal, or the welfare of the human race, or how many people live in what conditions, those aren't relative equations anymore. And so the currency is valid. And so I guess that's why I didn't like your video. So we just start off saying that this currency equation is somehow not applicable. It's applicable to sentient life. It's not applicable to non-sentient life. That's the distinction that needed to be made and wasn't made. So anyway, so yeah, the video was just a little too over here and over there. Modern Mystic made a video about religion. Yeah, well, I mean, I watched this obviously on my watch thing here. Fish on Friday. He's basically arguing that the Europeans got over it because of World War I, and they got disenfranchised with the religion. And that sort of probably worked for Europe because they had all big churches. They had the Church of England, and they have popes, and they have these big empire kind of religions. The problem in America is that we have all the little funky religions. We have the little covered wagon religions, and so those aren't going to be defeated because the emperor is seen to have no clothes. They've been exposed. That their little crooks and shysters have been exposed as crooks and shysters. Oh, I sinned. They cry on television and explain. And still the flock just follows right along because it's just it's a sick, disgusting addiction, and it's just not going to be undone by unraveling the leadership of it. Unfortunately, it's a different kind of religion. It's their religion is held based on their love of the earth. They've connected the religion to the earth and to the American flag and to it's connected to all these other symbols, and you're just not going to be able to unravel all that. So it's just not the same equation. It's a different kind of religion. It's more fundamentalist. Yeah, that's the word. And that's the problem. That's why the Islams and Islam ain't going to give up theirs, is because it's fundamentalist. That's the danger. Okay, so then Pyro. Talking more about this stupid moral relativism. And some kid made a video and he made a response to it. And he just babbled the same nonsense where he just keeps trying to rationalize the gross inconsistencies in this stupid ethical equation that somehow, well, all the values are relative except the ones that I care about. I mean, it's just stupid, I mean, it doesn't, it's not even Jeffersonian in the sense that it doesn't even make a statement like I have liberty until my liberty trespasses on somebody else's property kind of idea. They don't even go that far. They're not even that coherent with this stupid moral relativism. It's like they actually believe somebody has the right to rape them or something. I don't know. It just is stupid. And the whole point is that there's no more ethics, and value is just as real, okay, as any other descriptor of our world. So why would we be relative on the fact that the world isn't flat? Why there's no relativity on the fact that syphilis was caused by a microscopic worm. There's no room for relativity anymore. It's over, okay? Relativity is dead on that subject. There's one fucking opinion, the right one, and then there's the fucking wrong one. So this is just all such a pile of crap. Alright, so then we should be getting towards Great Text. Here we go. We'll play the Great Text video. Sorry for his lack of eloquence, but, we'll endure it. He says stuff over and over.
I'm getting a little bit miffed with IMED because of this attitude of, oh, you can't prove what your purpose in life is. It's like, but I can prove it. I tell you what my purpose in life is, and that's proof of what my purpose in life is. The key word is my purpose. I decide what I want to do. Right now my purpose in life is to make money, or to make a YouTube video. And then I'll go back to work when my break is finished. Then my purpose will be to make money.
Yeah, well, whatever. So Great Text is still doing this thing. Like somehow, there's no definable statement about what we're doing here. So there's no qualifiers. All right, back to it. hopefully it goes better than it has been going.
You know, there's all these different purposes going on at the same time, and they're all created by this brain, and a lot of those created purposes are to do with the reaction to the environment I find myself within.
Okay, yeah, well look, this isn't really the question or the circumstance that people are trying to get to. Okay, the point is there's no intrinsic underlying value to your existence. That's the argument. The argument, you could stand in front of a car that has no motor in it and no wheels, and you could say, my purpose, this car is a great car, it's a fantastic car, it's a wonderful car, you know, and it's just going to be bullshit, because we can evaluate it by a standard of functionality and performance and say, no, it's not wonderful. And even let's say your car did run, but it burned, you know, 30 gallons of gas, you know, per mile, and it was just really, no, that's a bad example. It did it, yeah, 30 gallons for 1 mile, yeah. Yeah, it'd be like outrageously inefficient, dysfunctional, not up to the required standard. It would be wasteful. These are all terms that can be applied to our serviceability. You can't just undo it by just saying, no, I say it's efficient and that's all that needs to be said. I said it. That's the proof that works. Nobody else needs to have a fucking microscope or a telescope or any other instrument or ruler. No, don't apply your rulers to me, you fucker. Well, that's just bullshit. You're going to get the ruler applied. So we'll move into the middle here. He is awful redundant.
There's nothing at B, so there's no purpose to that journey from A to B. And then, but you've got to realize it's A to B that is the purpose. That's life. That is the life. It's not a transitory period. This is your existence. You know, your purpose isn't to strive towards an end result as it is in Christianity.
Yeah, but the point is there is a subtle end result in that your purpose, to be functional, to be a good human, to be worth having on the planet again, or reinitiating, you have to come up to a certain performance level. You have to produce more comfort or prevent more suffering than you cause. And that's the way it works. That's the value equation. Your impact on yourself and others has to meet a certain snuff. Okay, and if it doesn't, you suck. You were a piece of fucking crap, and we would have been better off if we squished you before you took place. And that's just going to be a fact. That's the fact of our existence. So it's not just about your fucking journey. It's about how much money was paid for your fucking journey, how many cats you ran over on your journey. I mean, this equation, you can't just say life's a journey. That just isn't good enough. You have to account for it. And it's not a religious proposition. It's just a fucking logical proposition. Everything is subject to value equations.
I mean, it's one of those questions. How can you prove your value judgments to be true? You can't, because they're value judgments. There's no true or false in them.
It's just so stupid. Again, of course you can. If the ruler is made out of something that's, especially if it's a ruler that compares relative things. And so then at least you can always make, well, the water level is 6 inches higher than it was yesterday. You can make relative comparisons at minimum. And I'd certainly argue that in a lot of these cases we can make absolute statements. We can make absolute statements that certain kinds of suffering and imposition are fucking goddamn crap. That they're inherently evil, wrong, bad, nasty, stupid, and should be, everything possible should be done to prevent them. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, people shouldn't be fighting radiation in Japan. And how we stop that is another issue, but it's just a fact that it shouldn't be.
Thinking for taste. You know, and you, of course, and then it will bring back to this, well, you're saying that you're causing other organisms to suffer. No, it's a personal choice thing. For me, it's not what I'm going to enforce upon everything else. Like, I'm going to force you to live. You know, I'm going to force you to have my values. No. You've got your own. I'm not forcing you to have any other values than your own.
Well, again, you know, it depends on how far you take that. As soon as you give somebody the right to make an experiment, then you've opened the door to forcing, okay, the result on somebody who didn't want the result. So that's just, you know, that's just a fact. You can't unravel your culpability in the crime. I mean, if you're the driver, if you're the getaway driver, yeah, you really can't get off scot-free, even though you didn't have a gun and you didn't shoot anybody.
But, anyway, what's the purpose of this video? Well, the purpose is whatever it is. And,
yeah, well, whatever, brilliant. But yeah, all this fucking goddamn idiotic crap. I mean, all these people just keep talking all this shit. Like somehow all this stuff isn't like everything else, where we're actually trying to describe something. Okay, there's a pair of scissors. You try to describe it. You say, okay, it's black plastic over, you know, a couple of stainless steel metal Sharpies, and blah 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 blah. And the same thing is what we're trying to describe our relationship, our existence on this stupid shithole. And it's not about, there's not some fucking relative truth. Somebody can't just come in here and say this is made out of marshmallow. I mean, that's just fucking bullshit. It's an obvious and wrong interpretation of the circumstance. There's no fucking point in playing this fucking game that all opinions are equal. They're not all equal. There's qualifiable logical opinion, and there's fucking bullshit, and they can be identified, they can be separated. You can notice, you can find the difference between them. And so this is just all just such horse shit. It was something else. I know there was something else I wanted to get to, but I'll wait till the next better video maybe. Figure I'm going to make a draft science video just because it's like the modern mystic. I just had stuff rolling in my head, and I just figured make a video and get it out of there. I still haven't narrowed it down enough, but it's there, so I'm going to make a video. And some other video. So anyway, till next time, whatnot, blah blah blah. Fuck. Just, shit. There's nobody to talk to.